the only YouTube checklist you're going to need. If you're watching this video, you're either getting started with YouTube or you've been on YouTube long enough to understand that, oh, you need to have a few things checked off so that a video either does well or it gives you the opportunity to do well for this video, however you deem that, whether that's getting views, whether that's landing clients, getting book calls, getting people to buy your stuff, the products in the description. This is the checklist that a lot of people will really benefit from. So without further ado, I'm not gonna delay it anymore. The first thing that you really want to dial in for your checklist is your packaging. So for your packaging is essentially your YouTube thumbnail plus the title, plus the video idea interacting to get people to either click on your video to commit to the whole thing or book a call on the link in the description. So that's usually what a lot of people do, especially if you are a service provider trying to land clients, because essentially just booking appointments is what's going to bring you quite a bit of money, quite a bit of revenue. And whether there's a version of that for each person watching this video, whether that's the book calls or just trying to do something with regards to YouTube. So getting into it, the thumbnail, you want to really dial in the thumbnail because that's essentially what a lot of people will see when they get to the homepage of YouTube. So I'll draw what a YouTube homepage, what's going on? I'll draw what a YouTube homepage looks like. So you have a rectangle and then you have a couple videos like that. So you get the gist. And you're competing against all of these, and then your thumbnail will probably be here. So you really want your thumbnail to stand out in comparison to 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 or like 8 on the homepage. So you're really competing with a bunch of people, especially the big boys. So you want your screen, you essentially want your thumbnail to have its fighting chance. So if you are a personal brand, if you are trying to promote yourself on YouTube, most likely your face will cover a good portion of the screen. And then you have some legible text on the side of you, which would then be like, I don't know, it's like start now, which will be in a recognizable font. So a lot of people would like that kind of font to be on the screen so that people understand it, because if they don't understand it, they're not gonna click. In relation to that, you're gonna have the title somewhere here. And then that title really needs to be in relation to your thumbnail so that when people click, they don't feel deceived. So if you lie on your title and it doesn't deliver in the first 5 seconds of your video, then it's not gonna be worth it for anyone. You're gonna feel like that you wasted their time. They're gonna be mad at you. They're gonna leave hate comments. So just make sure that your title is related to your thumbnail. Now, one thing as well that a lot of people may know or may not know is that YouTube right now has animations for the home page. So when people look in your video, this starts to move when they hover their mouse over it, if they're on their laptop, maybe even on their phone. On their phone would usually be, the first video to pop up in the feed. So for me, it's like around 50% people on their laptops and then 40% on mobile. So it really depends how people see my video, but usually they're on the laptop. Then also you have to kind of dial in the video idea. So if your video idea is, your video idea usually has a couple goals with it. It's either to make money or to get views. That's the main two things that a lot of the video ideas on this platform do. So you just have to make sure that you have a dialed in video idea that will get you towards, or get you moving towards your goal. So I have a packaging toolkit that a lot of people use, and I hope you guys check that out too. But going into ideas is that you really want to ride the wave of validated ideas. So what validated ideas are essentially like ideas, YouTube packaging that has worked for someone before. So if you ride that wave of that YouTube idea working for someone else, then you give yourself this big chance to also succeed however you deem that like success on YouTube. So whether that's booking calls, whether that's getting views again. So if you ride that validated idea, you're going to give yourself the biggest chance you can get, and you also give yourself opportunity to also add in your own flavor, your own customization onto the idea that you might have been inspired by. That's why you see a lot of ideas actually get repeated on YouTube, because truly no idea is just an original idea. It's always derived from something, whether that's from books, old literature, media, old media. So it's always something that was drawn from, I don't know, someone older or passed down from generations, like how people story tell. So video ideas are always hit or miss sometimes, unless you, again, clarify your goals. So I have lots of videos about clarifying your goals, but again, if you can check off the validated ideas off your checklist and have proof that, oh, this video does well above average compared to the other videos that maybe another channel has done. So the way you're gonna see this is either through using a tool to see if a video does well compared to the rest, or you just look at, oh, this video has 10,000 views compared to the usual 1,000 views that this channel has. So a lot of people promote other tools to use, but for me personally, I just look at someone's channel. Oh, that one did 10,000 views above the rest. And then I try to get that idea, transform it, make it my own. And then once it's a validated idea, I go through the creating the thumbnail process and also the title in relation to that. So you can mix sort of the structure for these. There's never truly one way to do YouTube. Everyone does their own thing. But I find that if you have a validated idea, it just makes it easier for you to, make sure that your ROI on your time is way, way better. So going into that, as well as that, your video idea, since it's divided into two, whether that's making money or trying to get views, for me personally, I like the monetizing aspect to YouTube. So I always tell people, I'm trying to make money on YouTube, so that I'm transparent enough to say this at the beginning of my YouTube journey when I was at 0 subs, so that whenever it comes time to sell something or sell a product, I'm not gonna be in the, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people get crucified for trying to make money off of YouTube, and I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't me at the start, and just be honest and brutally honest that that's what I'm going to do. But a lot of people actually struggle with creating their offers, and it's one of the hardest things to do. And also monetizing on YouTube is really hard, especially if you are relying on AdSense, which would be the YouTube Partner Program. Especially you need to get to level 2. I'm at level 1 right now, and I'm grinding towards level 2. But one way you can do YouTube and kind of monetize it ASAP is by trying to figure out what is the solution you provide to a lot of the problems that your audience has. So that's usually, for me, I like hopping on one-on-one calls so that I can understand where people struggle in. And usually it's actually the offer or the monetizing aspect to YouTube. Some people, it's more so the systems and the processes that they encounter with regards to recording videos, editing videos, dealing with their editor, how to structure feedback, all these things that are in relation to the whole YouTube ecosystem. It makes it difficult because the beauty about YouTube is that there's so many layers to it, and that's what also makes it really difficult, is that with the amount of layers in YouTube, from the YouTube ideation standpoint to the packaging to the actual thumbnail design to the video production, like shooting right now with a camera, and then turning it into a video by editing the recorded video, and then SEO. All of these are kind of difficult to manage as a one-person team, but it's not impossible now thanks to AI as well, because AI provides you lots of opportunities to fix all of these, especially with the SEO part, with the thumbnail part, and the packaging part. So that's why I'm really keen on promoting the creator packaging toolkit that I have. But again, you can always do this for free. So just take, I don't know, maybe the script from this YouTube video and try to put it in ChatGPT and try to create a alpha prompt off of that. Just book a call if you're confused. But going into the next setting that I want you guys to cover is that your audio settings. Usually for audio settings, you want to be around -2, 3 dB. But if you have an editing software like Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, there's a special feature on these that you can click to normalize the audio for YouTube so that you don't have to second guess. The issue with that is that a lot of people do like having their audio. I find that you can, 3/4 of the volume bar is the sweet spot where people aren't too they don't feel that it's too loud. So, and then they don't want to click any further, because then when they click on the next video, it's gonna be too loud. But again, having your video a little bit louder than the average is what I find to work for me. And just make sure that you don't clip too much. I think clipping sometimes is fine. Like when you what clipping means is that you reach 0 dB. You're gonna see that on your camera, it's gonna hit the red part. Make sure people can hear you with your mic, and then I think that's one of the few things that you really have to be mindful of. But try to keep it -4 to -1 dB is sweet spot for me. And then for video settings, one thing I would do definitely is try to film in 4K if you can, and upload in 4K if you can, because YouTube has processing that is a bit better for this. One thing that you can do with your video settings that is kind of easy lift is just exporting it in 4K and making sure that your codec is just matched with whatever you're trying to do. Don't try to do anything extra or special. So there's a lot more technical videos that actually cover these settings, and I'll try to link one of these videos on the description, and just go check that out later. So speaking of description, one of the things that you also have to make sure that you dial in on is the YouTube description. So when you're uploading the video, you're gonna be able to edit the description. So one thing you can do is actually, on my toolkit as well, I have a description section there. But essentially what I put there is just a way for you to kind of create SEO for your the YouTube transcript that you use. So one thing, you can do this for free. So go get your YouTube transcript and put it in ChatGPT, and just make sure that whoever you're targeting, your target audience, your problems and pain points are there in the prompt. That's why I already have this set up. Maybe I'll include it for free in the description as well. But essentially the YouTube description will be a really good way for you to kind of make your audience or reach your audience faster than it would have if it was just relying on YouTube to do it through the thumbnail, title, and the tags. We'll talk about tags in a bit, but for your YouTube description, once you have that in the bag, one thing I learned from a lot of the YouTubers I've been studying is that a lot of them don't like linking out of the YouTube website. So if you link out, it's kind of like a bad signal to YouTube that, oh, it's your content's not binge worthy enough. I don't know if there's actual data behind this, but it just makes sense that you would want to keep people on the platform consuming other videos. So one thing I would do with the YouTube description is add in a YouTube video you have had before, or you're going to have in the future as well. So you can do these next videos or previous videos on your description. One thing as well is that you just remove the links to other websites and just tell people like, oh, this is my username on IG. You can book a call using this link that you don't really use the HTTPS on. And then going into tags. For tags, I think you can have a few in your description, and then you can just put it in the tag section. Again, you can use ChatGPT to make this simple. Just ask ChatGPT what would be a good tag sequence to use for this specific audience, who you're targeting. Just create the prompt there. And then going into another setting that I find that might be useful for a lot of people in the future would be the multi-language feature. If you activate the multi-language feature, you're going to set yourself apart from people who just do, for example, their videos in English. So the multi-language feature allows you to get auto-dubbed. Although the audio sucks, you still give yourself the opportunity to reach a global audience and give you that global reach, which a lot of people might not be able to do. So those are the settings, and if you guys found value in this video, I'll leave a video right here, or one of these videos, and if you guys click on that, I'll see you guys there when I see you.